Yes, people, it is time for another Champions League match day predictions, match day 4. So now the crunch time is here. Will Barcelona go back to the Europa League again? Will Napoli continue their amazing start? And can Benfica upset PSG in Paris? These are all the storylines heading into match day 4. If you're watching on the replay, don't worry, there will be timestamps. So if you want to watch your team and the match day predictions we give for your team, just scroll over to the matchup. But as always, we got Mr. Dominic Rich in the house. How you doing, Dom?
I'm all right, man. Nice to be back. 4 match days in a row, bro. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what you call consistency. Seems like you and I are going to be doing the entire Champions League in terms of predictions, you know what I mean, this season.
Looking like it.
While we do separate things when it comes to like the review process. But in terms of the build-up, we've been, you know what I mean, we've been doing pretty well.
Yeah, we've been doing very, very well. Big up to everybody. Big up to Uncle Mike, Nicola, Matt, Cameron, CJ, Wikitiki. Oh, here we go. Now the Arsenal fans coming after me. Guys, I couldn't. I was actually at my friend. He's having a baby, so at a gender reveal yesterday. I didn't even watch the game live. And you know what? Thank God I didn't. Big up to Mom Porras. Big up to Matt. Big up to Sammy. Where was your upload yesterday? It must feel nice to be a Man City fan. Of course, as always, but kind of boring. And Liverpool got hit with that sweet Martinelli. Oh.
Listen, honestly, it's not boring being a City fan because when you're winning, it's hard work to keep winning as well. People think it's like, oh yeah, you're winning. It's boring to win. You know how hard it is to stay on top? You see what I'm saying? It is very, very difficult.
This is very true.
So,
all right. So here, before we get to our predictions, here is actually the standings for the league. The fantasy league for the predictor. So Dom got 37 points last week. Not too bad. Yeah, you got 37 points.
Who's on top? You see, look.
Theodore is on top. He has 150 points. And Doug, for example, is 4th. I believe I am 8th right now. I had a good week last week. I think, how many points did I get last week? Actually, let's see here. There we go. So AD had the most. He had 56 points. Theodore had 55. Ermonto Romando had 56. I had 51 points. So I did pretty well last week. I gotta say, I got, I think, 4 games right on the scoreline.
Do you do it for the Europa League and Conference League too?
No.
Yeah, I got about 58 points for the Europa League last week. So,
damn.
Yeah, killed it.
You killed it. All right, so let's get to then the predictions. As always, match day 4 begins, and well, we're gonna start with Group H, where
Maccabi.
I think Maccabi versus Juventus, and I don't know. You probably didn't watch the game between Juventus and AC Milan, but Juventus are still garbage, and nothing will change.
I didn't.
I mean, nothing will change until that manager is gone. So, feel bad for every Juve fan that they have to watch that dinosaur football.
Man. They lost 2-0. Wow.
Yeah, it was not a good performance whatsoever. I mean, Bonucci was just a totem pole there as Brahim Diaz just went around him.
But listen, man, at the end of the day, this is what we were asking for a couple seasons ago for Juventus's reign over the Serie A to end, and we got it. But we didn't know that it would be such come to an abrupt end. and just continue like spiraling out of control. And that's exactly what happened. And, you know, so didn't
So,
what
so do you think Maccabi Haifa can get a result here? I think if they're going to get any points in this group, it is this game.
no, they're not getting any points. I think Juventus they must respond after the loss to AC Milan. I think they're gonna win. I think Maccabi will score because they have so many goal threats, but
Mm.
and they're at home as well. But I think Juve respond against Maccabi, and their quality would, there's a big disparity in the quality of the two teams, even though Juventus are not doing well when stacked up against AC Milan and Inter and some other Syria clubs these days. But against Maccabi, come on, let's not, if there's gonna be an upset on match day 4, this could be one of them, but I don't see it happening. I'm going for 2-1 to Juventus.
Okay, all right. I think this is where the upset happens. I'm going 1-1.
Wow.
I think because Juventus have not been convincing whatsoever during this group stage, and Maccabi Haifa, this is basically their Champions League final. Because although they could get a result against Benfica at home, but they gotta fancy their chances against Juventus. They just see this team; they're weak at the moment, mentally weak. So I fancy Maccabi Haifa's chances in this game. If they're gonna get any result, it will be this one. What about the
Mike,
other game? Yeah, go ahead.
Mike, before we move on to the other game, this will be the 4th meeting between Maccabi and Juventus, and
Okay.
Juventus has won all 3 games so far. So,
Well,
look,
there's always something new can happen.
yeah,
It's
the
time for a
first
change.
the first 2 games were close. The last time they met in Israel, it was a 1-0 win for Juventus. So, even though Juventus are not at their best right about now, I still give them the edge over Maccabi Haifa.
And what about the next game, Dom?
So,
You said it would
yeah,
be 3-1 for PSG.
you
You
were
got a
right.
little bit cocky.
You
I
were right.
told
You were
you.
right. You were
I
right.
told you it would be a draw. What happened?
You got
Benfica arguably could have won this game easily.
you got that
Donnarumma
one
made
right.
some amazing saves. So no, I don't think Messi's gonna play, and no Nuno Mendes. So I think Benfica can fancy their chances again in this game. What, Dom? You gonna respect a little bit more Benfica, or do you think PSG will be too
Well,
strong at home this time around?
look, first of all, big up to everybody watching the stream, guys. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. But look, Benfica did surprise me in the last game because with the power that PSG possesses, I thought that even though Benfica is a quality unit and they would give them a run for their money, PSG should come out on top. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm,
it didn't happen, and that actually, you know, had allowed some doubts about PSG to resurface, where we may say, "Oh yeah, this is the year to win the Champions League." Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, Hakimi, Donnarumma, Sergio Ramos, you name it. The team is stacked up, right? But
mm.
then you go and you draw 1-1 to Benfica, a team that you should beat. You see what I'm saying? Because look,
Oh yeah, of course.
if this was, let's say, Bayern or Man City, it would be like you expect them to beat Benfica. You see what I'm saying? So when
Oh yeah,
PSG
based on the
does not,
quality.
exactly, when PSG does not take care of business, questions are gonna be asked. But this time they're gonna be at home. I think they have enough quality, whether Messi plays or not. I think they have enough quality in their team to come away with a home win here. If they don't, then more questions gonna have to be asked. And look, even though Juventus are not doing too well in the group, let's say PSG drop points in this group and Juventus win their game, it
Mm,
gives Juventus a really good chance of, getting through to the next round. The next game between PSG and Juventus is going to be a massive one. Think about it. And the one between Juventus and Benfica, because let's say
yep.
Juventus win against Maccabi. They pick up their only second win in the group, right? They go up to 6. These two teams draw again, they go up to 8. The last 2 games in the groups are gonna be crunch matches. So,
Yep.
but PSG, I'm going for a 3-1 win for PSG anyways. I
Same
think that,
exact result
yeah,
again.
I think Benfica, will show glimpses of their brilliance in the match, but PSG will come out on top. I'm not going
You-
for an
you-
upset. I'm not going for. I don't care, man. Listen, forget about the last result. I don't. I'm going for a PSG win here.
All right, fair enough. Oh look, I'm I've been super impressed by Benfica this whole entire season. I think Roger Smith is doing an amazing job. They got ballers all over the pitch.
Yep.
Antonio Silva, the center back. I mean, he's probably going to cost 70 million in 2 years because he pocketed Mbappe in that game. Absolutely dominated him. He's only 18 years old. Probably born in 2004. My God, that makes me feel old as well. I think for this game though, because there's no Messi, Benfica can fancy their chances, but because PSG are at home, they're going to have that little bit of edge just over Benfica. Then you'll see the brilliance of Neymar and Mbappe with their link-up play, as they did against Juventus, for example, where Neymar gave one assist to Mbappe. I could see a similar thing here. I'm going to go for 2-1 PSG. If this was in Lisbon, like last week, then I would have maybe went for a Benfica win. But because it is in Paris, I'm going to go 2-1 Paris Saint-Germain. So we got 2-1 PSG, 2-1, 3-1, 2-2. And do you guys think Vlahovic would have similar numbers if he was playing in City as Haaland? Well, he wouldn't have the exact same numbers, but I would say Vlahovic would get goals because just the service that he would get from Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, and Foden. I mean, I love Dusan Vlahovic. I think he's a fantastic striker. He's just playing with the bum-ass manager. All right, Dom. I don't think Haaland is going to play, but I'll still go with this scoreline. So I'm just going to quickly do this one.
So, we didn't mention PSG drew over the weekend too. So
yeah. They got kind of lucky in that game.
Yeah,
for example, and Benfica won as well.
Yep. So look, 4-0. That's also my prediction for this one because the last game was routine win for Man City, and it just shows how good the team is. And you don't think Haaland's gonna play this game? That's what you're saying?
I think Julian Alvarez will start, but it won't matter. I'm sorry.
Last game 5-0, of course. Erling Haaland.
I think Pep will be looking at the Liverpool game as well, just a little bit with this lineup.
Erling Haaland with a brace. You got Mahrez, Alvarez. Look, I think Haaland starts the game. Because if he doesn't start the game, might as well don't take him. You see what I'm saying? Just leave him in Manchester, let him chill. But I don't think that's the right approach right about now. I think you take Haaland, get the away experience, and play him for 45 minutes like you did in the first leg. Let him go out there, let him flex his muscle in front of goal, maybe bag a quick hat trick or bag a brace or even one, and then come off. You see what I'm saying? Bring on a few youngsters in the second half. I think Pep's going to go about business the same way he did in the first leg. Or he might just leave a few players at home. Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland, But then again, you don't want to do that and go to Copenhagen and then they pull off an upset. They get a draw or even a 2-1 win or something. So you want to take care of business, go out there, put out not the best team possible. You're going to rotate, but put out a strong 11, take care of business. 4-0 is my prediction, same like yours. And, move on to the round of 16 pretty much.
I don't think there's much to say in this game. FC Copenhagen have been terrible this season. They got a new manager. They're struggling in the Danish league. They drew over the weekend against Nordsjælland. Shout out to my guy, Oliver Ottman. The Finnish guy scored a late equalizer against FC Copenhagen, but they got to just focus on their league form because at the moment, they would not be making it to the championship round, I believe, of the Danish Super League.
How about Man City's league form, bro?
Of course. Well, of course they won, but you talked about Man City, so I'm going to give some information about FC Copenhagen in this game. So
That's good. But you didn't mention nothing about Man City's league form.
No, because you're talking and you can praise Man City all you want. I bring the other side of it. So we know who's going to win this. We know who's going to win this game. There's no point in discussing about it. It's an easy win.
You see what's going on here? You're just ignoring the fact that City's the only unbeaten team in the league. You're basically not giving the Copenhagen game. You're basically saying we're going to run away with the game. I don't look, even though we want to run away with the game.
I think 99% of people would say you run away with the game. You're just trying to make it seem like, this is going to be a difficult test to go away environment that's crazy.
I want to
Dom,
hear you give
we
City
know.
some praises.
Dom, I've been
I
giving
want
praise
more.
all
I
this
want to.
season, so don't worry about it. Don't
I want
worry
to
about
hear
it.
it. I
You
want.
hear it. You can hear it enough on ESPN FC, so go check them out. And the other game in this group, we got Dortmund versus Sevilla, and I mean Dortmund absolutely ripped Sevilla apart. I obviously it was Lopetegui's last game. I think he knew before the game that he was going to be sacked, and I think you could just tell with the players' performance. They just were not into it, and Dortmund took advantage of it massively. And the big thing here is Moukoko has to start. I think with Modeste coming off the bench, that gives them a better option. And obviously, Dortmund's performance over the weekend coming back against Bayern was an amazing comeback. Modeste with the last minute equalizer. And then obviously Sevilla, now with Jorge Sampaoli back. I mean, the Argentinian tattooed bulldog. I don't care for the manager, but he did a decent job with Sevilla back in the day. They got a 1-1 draw with Atletico Bilbao. So it is difficult to call this game. I think it's going to be much closer than what happened last week. I think last week was just too many emotions for Sevilla. They weren't really into it. For Dortmund, I think if they win this game, they're obviously going to qualify for the round of 16. So my prediction, I'm going to go for a narrow 2-1 win for Borussia Dortmund. What are you saying, Dom?
Well, look, Dortmund. I didn't actually watch the classic over the weekend.
That was a great game, absolutely fantastic game.
I did see that Dortmund came back dramatically and everything. Look, they haven't been doing too bad in the Champions League this season, of course, but Sevilla could have a bit of new manager luck, second coming kind of new manager luck going for them, right? But at the same time, it's the same team. You see what I mean?
Yep.
I don't think Sampaoli is going to come in and work any kind of magic like right away. And with Dortmund coming off at a high of not losing to Bayern Munich, I actually think they're going to walk away with it. And they're going to be, this is a home game for Dortmund as well. So I could see them actually winning the game 3-1 because Sevilla has only defeated Dortmund on one occasion as well. This would be the sixth in terms of the last 5 meetings. Sevilla picked up a 1-0 win back in 2010 Europa League, but since then they have failed to beat Borussia Dortmund. So I think the edge is with Edin Terzic and Borussia Dortmund. Big up to Jude Bellingham, making big headlines every single week.
He's been performing really, really well in the last couple of weeks. He stepped up his performances.
So I'm gonna go for 3-1 to Dortmund. I'll be surprised if Sevilla actually get anything from this game.
And you also know, Dom, I mean, it's Sevilla, so what do they want to do? Drop down to the Europa League and win that competition. Yep. It's what this club does at the end of the day. So shout out to Sevilla, and let's see if Sampaoli can bring that magic back. I think they got to just focus on La Liga because they're still in and around the relegation zone. Obviously, it's early in the season, but that is not Sevilla at the end of the day. So we move on then to the next group, Celtic versus RB Leipzig. Obviously, last week was a very entertaining game between these two teams. I mean, I don't know what Joe Hart's doing in the second goal for RB Leipzig. They conceded the goal. I think it was ruled offside, I believe. Joe Hart gives the ball straight to RB Leipzig, and they score. I don't know what he's doing. That's why Pep got rid of him. And then for Celtic, I mean,
I was just about to say, no wonder why he's not the keeper at Manchester City anymore, or he got discarded so quickly.
Pep got rid of his ass immediately. Yep. And then obviously Celtic coming off a 2-1 win, I think it was St. Johnstone, and then RB Leipzig drew 1-1 with Mainz. So for this group, obviously this is still a little bit narrow between Shakhtar and Celtic and RB Leipzig. Shakhtar has 4 points, RB Leipzig has 3 points, and Celtic have 1 point. So Celtic, we know this. I mean, the atmosphere, this is where they got to win this game. They got to use that atmosphere to their advantage. They got 2 home games now against Shakhtar and RB Leipzig. If they can win both of those games, Celtic might be making it to the round of 16. I feel like it's going to be another high-scoring game. I feel like Celtic are going to come out firing in the first 30 minutes, kind of like what they did against Real Madrid, where they were super good in the first half, and then the second half they kind of faded away, and then Real Madrid, used their quality. But you know what? I think Celtic are going to go win this game. I'm going to go 2-1 Celtic. I think they're going to have just a little bit enough firepower to get over RB Leipzig. And, RB Leipzig will find it difficult, even though Nkunku has been playing much better recently. And Timo Werner, he's just been terrible recently, too. What are you saying, Dom?
Well, look, we know the Scottish teams do play well at home, Rangers, Celtic. But, look, I I think this is going to be RB Leipzig. This is a crunch match. Leipzig, if they fail to win this game, they listen. It's going to be very difficult. The crunch match against Shakhtar and against Real Madrid, your chances of winning very, very slim right now. So I think Leipzig pick up a victory here, put them up to 6 points. Shakhtar coming up against Real Madrid most likely won't win that one. So it'll put Leipzig in a very, very good position for when they themselves meet Shakhtar again for the second time, which would be a huge game. That would actually, I think, if once Leipzig win this game against Celtic, that'll be the game that determines who moves on along with Real Madrid. But look, I think this would be the game where Celtic basically they will get eliminated. If they should get eliminated if they do
No,
lose.
they still would have a chance, but they would have to win away at Real Madrid, which
exactly
will be difficult.
That's not happening. It's basically it's virtually elimination for it's do or die for Celtic, and I think it's going to be die. And I'm going to go for a narrow 2-1 win for Leipzig. Celtic would have a stay alive in a game, but I think ultimately RB Leipzig would win the game.
Yep. I mean, look, I think Celtic, just because they're at home, will give a good account of themselves, and I just think with the home crowd, they can really win this game. We'll see. We'll see who's smarter this time around. Obviously, Real Madrid, I think they're going to definitely look at the El Clasico ahead of this weekend. Obviously, big week ahead for Real and Barcelona. So maybe Carlo will rotate maybe a little bit. We could see the likes maybe of Hazard, just maybe. I doubt it, but just maybe. Maybe you could see a little bit different center back pairing and this sort of stuff.
Right. The thing is, right, remember, Barcelona also has the Clasico, and they themselves are not in a very good position in the Champions League, so they can't think about the Clasico now.
Oh yeah, Barca can't, but Real Madrid can.
Yeah, and say, hey, but no, you can't. None of them can, because let's say if Real Madrid drop points, then Barcelona hold the aces. You see what I'm saying? So
but Real Madrid have such a convincing advantage in this group already. 5 points. I mean, I think Carlo. I'm not saying he's going to rotate the whole squad, but we could see maybe 2 to 3 different players in the starting 11.
Of course. You could,
I still know Courtois, by the way.
He could afford to rotate, of course, but I'm saying you don't want to rotate too much. You see what I'm saying? And then you let Barcelona win the game and go 3 points ahead, because right now they head to head toe to toe on points right about now, and you don't want them to have that advantage, because let's say Barcelona gets that 3-point advantage, Real Madrid slip up in a future game, Barcelona just continue winning, then they most likely will go on to win the title. And what you did that for? What? Because you got complacent in the Champions League. So I think their squad is deep enough to rotate, but still be strong enough to go on to beat Shakhtar Donetsk. So I'm not going to go for a blowout, but I'm going to go for a 3-1 win for Real Madrid.
Same as me. I'm going 3-1. I think because Real were, they just were not clinical last week. They had 30-something shots at goal, 16 on target. Trubin, the Shakhtar goalkeeper, had a crazy game. I think just Real will be a bit more clinical this time around. Benzema will get 1 or 2 goals, get some confidence heading into the El Clasico, if he needs any confidence, because he's arguably the best striker in the world. But I just think Shakhtar, they just got to focus on the 2 games against Celtic.
Who you say is the best striker in the world? Who?
Well, actually, good point. Now it's Erling Haaland. But Benzema has been the best striker the last year. So that's all I'm going to say. He is going to be the Ballon d'Or winner for this year. And any debates, then come at me. But Benzema will win the Ballon d'Or this year. It won't be Erling Haaland just yet, Dom. Don't worry. He'll win it in a couple of years. Don't worry.
Okay. Just interjection real quick.
Yeah?
Real quick. With what Erling Haaland's doing right now, right? Let's say he continues to do this until the World Cup. After the World Cup, just continue.
He won't win the Ballon d'Or this year.
Not this year. He'll win the Ballon d'Or next year for sure.
Yeah. If he keeps going like this,
scoring like this,
and if Man City win the Champions League, I think also they take a lot of stock into the Champions League. And
I don't even look. I think if win the Champions League or not, if Erling Haaland continues to score like this, City win the league or not. Once he continues to do well, remember it's an individual award too. If he continues to do well and he scores about 45. Let's say let's not get too carried away. Let's say he get to 40 goals in a league. He wins the Ballon d'Or.
Well, we'll have to see what happens, and we'll see what his performance is. Because you got it, like Benzema was just so clutch last season in the Champions League, so clutch. He had just hat tricks against Chelsea, coming back against PSG.
I know.
So
Look,
you got when the big moments are there, Benzema is there. So let's see if Erling Haaland
true.
is that guy. Let's see if Erling Haaland is that guy later this
Erling
year.
Haaland is gonna win next year's Ballon d'Or on next weekend's performance alone.
Okay, all right, cool. Well, you can discuss about that on your channel, so don't worry about that. Dom, how disappointed were you in Milan, though?
God,
Milan were. I watched a lot of Milan in the last couple of years. That might have been the worst performance from Pioli's side in, I think, 3 years. When they lost to Atalanta 5-0, that was probably the last performance that was so terrible from Milan. And I don't think Chelsea were even that good. I just think they took advantage of just some. I mean, not even schoolboy, kindergarten defending from the corner from Milan. Oh, it was just terrible. Tomori had an absolute shocker of a game. So will this be now a different story at the San Siro? Theo Hernandez will be back. And Chelsea, I don't think Chelsea have to win this game because obviously they still got Salzburg away and Dinamo Zagreb at home. And I think for Milan, you got to put in a performance after what that, I mean, just a horse show of a matchup. So what do you think, Dom? Do you think Milan are going to come back with a little bit something to prove, or will Chelsea continue their good form, winning obviously 3-0 on the weekend over Wolverhampton Wanderers?
Well, they're a bit buoyed from that win. They would be buoyed from that win. And under Potter, they've been performing relatively well. He basically came in and, pulled things back. Because with Tuchel, seems like the wheels were falling off a little. You know what I mean? Inconsistency was kicking in. So with Potter, he's what? He picked up a draw and 2 Premier League wins, right?
Yep.
So, well, no, 4 games, 1 draw and 3 wins. 2 Premier League wins, I think. He won the game against Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace, yeah. Conor Gallagher. Yeah.
So he's really pulled things back for Chelsea. So give it up to Graham Potter. And AC Milan got to put out a better performance than they did at Stamford Bridge. They were short. Players were injured, of course.
Actually, Dom, should I let you know the injury report again from Milan before you
go?
No,
not necessarily. Okay. I don't think.
I think the one player you should think about is Theo Hernandez is back. He played over the weekend, so he's a big plus for them.
But then it's gonna be him against Reece James as well over there on that side.
That should be a good battle.
Him coming back from injury, coming up against Reece James, he maybe he'll get injured again. You see what I'm saying? So I think for AC Milan, they have to be a bit more pragmatic in this game, because if they overly attacking, maybe Chelsea could pick them off, because the way Chelsea set up on the Potter, 3 at the back, you know what I'm saying? They look a lot better, to be honest, because the thing is with Tuchel, he didn't know his best 11. But one thing about Potter is he is gonna know his best 11, because I think for Brighton,
he heavily rotated over the weekend as well.
No, but what I'm saying though, Brighton, I think used the least amount of players this season out of all teams, right?
Oh yeah.
And I think with Potter, he's not gonna be too sporadic like Tuchel. So I do fancy Chelsea bouncing back after the opening they lost, the draw to Salzburg. I do think Chelsea's gonna go on to win this game 2-1, narrow 2-1 win for Chelsea.
So I was looking, obviously the last time these two teams played at the San Siro was 1999. It was a 1-1 draw. So that's the only time they played against each other at the San Siro. I have to think to myself, Milan better put in a better performance. They cannot be that terrible once again. And I think getting that win over Juventus, they were good. They weren't great, but they were good. And I think a lot of key injuries, and Tonali and Benacer, they got to step up. They were good in the first 20 minutes, and Milan were, I think, dominant in the game. And then I don't know what happened. They just started giving the ball up so easily, allowed Chelsea then to get an attack, and then defensively they were not strong enough. So I think Pioli's got to be a bit more, I would say, defensive, play a bit more on the counterattack against this Chelsea side. Let them have the ball. Let's see what they can do with the ball and hit them on the counterattack with, I think, Rafael Leao and Theo Hernandez. When you have that combination down the left side, that could be more threatening. And I got to say, I think Potter has done a really good job so far. he's still trying to figure out what his best 11 is. You know, Mount, Havertz, Aubameyang, Sterling, Pulisic even got a goal over the weekend. So shout out to Captain America. So this is a difficult one to call. I'm gonna go for a high-scoring 2-2 draw. I just can't. Yeah, I just can't see a winner in this game. But I feel like Milan will bounce back with their performance, and especially at home, the crowd. I think they'll put in a better performance. But I'm liking the way Potter's doing things with Chelsea. And then obviously the other game. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say big up to everybody watching the stream. I see that 18 people already put in their votes for the predictor. Nice. Mike, be sure to drop the link in the chat. So
yeah, Sebastian, can you drop the link in the chat and also the code for the league if you guys want to join the predictor MTF predictor league. Big up to Michael. He says, guys, did you see them? Yes, I did, Michael. It was a fantastic game. I don't know. I don't know what Bayern Munich are doing, but we'll discuss about Bayern. And then obviously we talked about Borussia Dortmund. I think Mukoko now has to start every game for Borussia Dortmund. But now
join the league, guys. Join the league. Like the video. Let's go.
There we go. This is where Dinamo wins their game. I don't care. I don't need to give any. I don't need to give any thoughts. Actually, they actually put in a decent performance in Salzburg. They could have easily gotten a point in that game. They had a couple good chances, but now that they're home, 2-0 Salzburg. 2-0 Salzburg. 2-0 Dinamo Zagreb. That's what I'm going for. I think Dinamo will bounce back, and I think if they win this game, now it gets really fascinating in this group, and especially if the Milan and Chelsea are a draw. Ooh, it's going to be fascinating. So what do you think, Dom? Dinamo win as well?
I didn't even think about it. I just write down a 2-1 win for Dinamo because at home they are really, really good. They picked up a 4-1 home win against Slaven Belapo in the league. Peter Bochkai, who is a somewhat of a player that was in the Croatian league playing for, I think he used to play for Osijek, if I'm not mistaken, but he had some discipline problems, but he's like a really good dead ball specialist, and it's nice to see him at Dinamo. And Bruno Petkovic also scored. Look out for Mislav Orsic. Livakovic has been a lot better in goal this season. I realize not a lot of mistakes, so they're gonna bring out their quality. Look out for Robert Lubicic, the Austrian as well, who plays left back. He's
been really impressive in the Champions League. I've been super impressed by him.
Guys like Butarina, Ademi, Misic, so quality team, man. Quality team, and I think they're gonna go out there and they're gonna, put their dominance over Salzburg. But at the same time, you can't really take your eye off this Salzburg team because with the talent that they have, they could well go out there and pull off. And what would be an upset, in my opinion, a win at the Maximir. That would be an upset if they walk away with anything. And look, the group is well poised. We could talk about results or whatnot, but we have to talk about what this would actually do to the group because Salzburg on top, Chelsea second, right? Milan third, Dinamo last. If Dinamo wins this game, and let's say Chelsea and Milan draw the game, Dinamo then goes all the way up to first. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, this group will get madness then.
With two games left. And the thing is, Dinamo do have one home game left against Milan. So all they would need, if they get a point from that game, then the Milan Salzburg game is going to be ridiculous. So the group is well poised, and I think we're going to see something spectacular happen in this group for the last couple match days.
I'm even going to put my booster on this. I think this is going to be the booster for me. 2-0 for Dinamo Zagreb. Shout out to Isaac, man. Thanks for the kind donation. I mean, if you guys don't subscribe to Isaac, you're living under a rock. Same with Dominic Rich. You guys must be living under a rock. He says, came in at the perfect time. Let's go. Obviously, he's a Dinamo Zagreb fan, so
I am subscribed. I am subscribed to him.
Nice.
Yeah,
so,
I have spoken to you about him. So big up to her Vizak,
Big up to Isaac, man.
Putting out I don't know him personally, but
Isaac's a good guy. He's gonna be at the World Cup, so lucky him, man. Lucky him. Let's see. He'll probably see Greg Berhalter do absolutely nothing in that World Cup as well. And maybe he'll see Budimir. Let's see. Hopefully he doesn't see Budimir. And Bokac was drunk.
Yeah. That's what I'm telling you,
Okay.
Yeah. I think he actually crashed into Yeah, he crashed into something, and
Uh,
that kind of turned his career around.
okay.
Because he used to play for another club, and I was surprised when Dinamo actually picked him up. So you know,
Fascinating, fascinating. So
pretty
yeah,
pretty
I
cool.
think that's all
Yeah.
the games then from Tuesday night. So we'll move on to Wednesday, and obviously shout out to Isaac. Thanks for the kind donation. Dom, Club Brugge. This is the best story of the Champions League. I don't care what anybody says. I mean,
Yeah.
this is why I love football. These underdog stories. Simon Mignolet has conceded 0 goals. Simon Mignolet. Maybe we could use him at Liverpool, although I think it's not Alisson's fault. And Atleti. I don't know what to say about Simeone anymore. But there's something about this game. I said it last week. It smelled. I got that feeling in the
Yeah,
air.
you were right. You were right. I think you predicted a draw. What you predicted?
No, I predicted 1-0 for Atleti.
Oh, I actually went for a draw. I
Oh.
went for a draw. So
Didn't Steve go for Club Brugge win, didn't he?
I can't remember, but
I think he did. I think he did.
I
So,
know I actually went for a draw for this one.
but this is at home. The Wanda Metropolitano. Atleti have to win this game. If they do not win this game, they're screwed. I don't care.
But
They're
it doesn't
screwed.
matter. It doesn't matter where they're at, though. They play the same football everywhere, whether they're home or
Dom,
not.
I'm not talking about the football. I'm just saying they
I
gotta
know.
win this. They got
But
to
what
win
I'm
this game no
saying,
matter
though,
what.
I'm saying, we've seen, look, especially the games against Man City last year, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's like, go out there and it's just so negative, man. It's just so negative.
That's
And-
Simeone.
And they have some very good players in the team. They have
Yep.
quality. It's just that they're so negative. Oh, by the way, I did run across an article that Griezmann have signed for Atletico
Yeah,
Madrid.
now he can play 90 minutes.
Yeah,
nothing about
until
doesn't matter anymore.
2026. And while we're on some news, Mike, did you hear that Enoch Mwepu has retired?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
obviously
sad, man.
prayers up to Mwepo, man. That's
Yeah,
horrible.
he
news.
was a really good player for
I thought he
Brighton
was
there.
gonna be. I thought he was
And
gonna be a baller.
formerly of Salzburg as well. He
Yeah.
came to the Salzburg team, that brilliant Salzburg team
Like a
with
lot,
Daka.
like-
yeah, Daka and co. Haaland.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Minnow named them.
It's a big miss for the Zambian national team as well. So obviously
And
prayers
Brighton.
up to
And Brighton.
prayers and Brighton. So prayers up to Mwepo as
But
always.
wait,
What do you think,
I know.
Dom? Do you think? Go
Haven't
ahead.
you noticed? Haven't you noticed, right? That this has been happening to a lot of footballers lately. Like
Yeah,
this
I don't
this
know.
has been happening more frequently. Like a lot of these illnesses
Oh,
where
yeah.
players are forced to retire early, players getting cancer. Where's all this coming from, though?
Well, I think just medicine is getting better. The technology that we can check for these sort of issues is better. So I mean, luckily they found it now before it got worse for him.
No, but it's a
because it
lot
could
of.
have been.
But what I'm saying though, it's
Oh
a
yeah,
lot
I know
of
it's
players.
a lot of players. Yeah, it's a lot of.
A lot
I
of
don't know.
like.
Is this the stress or the amount of miles that they're running as well? It's like it's hard work being a footballer. I don't think a lot of people realize that. So
Yeah, it is.
who knows? But
So
Dom,
yeah. Club
you know what,
Brugge-
Dom?
Club
Last week
Brugge,
I said.
Atleti.
Last week I said this would be a Cholo masterclass. It's this week. It's 1-0 Atleti. I don't care. They're gonna be
1-1 draw, bro. You're not beating Bruges. You're not beating Bruges, bro. I'm convinced.
You're not beating Simon Mignolet.
If they could get to match their 4 without conceding, I don't think they're not losing, bro. They're not losing.
I gotta give credit to Carl Hofkins. This is his first season as Club Brugge manager.
Oh.
This is his first.
Higuain actually retired. Oh wow.
He's gonna retire at the end of the season. Yeah. So, but Carl Hofkins, this is his first ever managerial job, and he has Club Brugge at the top of this group. If they win this game, they're guaranteed first place, in my opinion.
Look,
They're guaranteed.
Let's answer Albert's question, right? So I'll answer the question, right? For Higuain, my memories when you say Gonzalo Higuain, all I could remember is the 2014 World Cup, right? The fact that Argentina should have won that World Cup if it wasn't for guys like Ezekiel Lavezzi and Gonzalo Higuain, you know what I mean? Just missing dumb, easy chances. Yeah. And you just think of Higuain's stint as a Chelsea player. Just think about that.
But you gotta talk about his
No,
brilliance
look,
at Napoli too,
no,
man. He was
he
brilliant
was
there.
absolutely brilliant at Napoli, but this is
Yeah.
where players make mistakes, right? You're brilliant somewhere at Napoli, and then you want to go to Juventus, right? And then it's not the same. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, he had a brilliant. I think it was his first season.
Yeah,
He
he
had
had
a
a
brilliant
good
season.
season there, but
He
what
had
I'm
a really
saying
good season.
overall, and look, don't forget his time at Real Madrid too. So,
Yep.
you know, but his days at Chelsea is basically parallel to his days, well, at the 2014 World Cup down in Brazil, where that was just
Not even
horrible.
just that. Not even just that final. 2015 final. He had a last-minute chance against Chile, and what did he do? He completely missed it. He should have scored. So,
Yeah.
I
So
mean, look. I think Higuain was a very good player, but when it came to the big moments, he faltered.
yep.
That's what I would
Facts.
say. That's what I would say about Gonzalo. But hey, very clinical striker. I don't know what he's doing into Miami. Probably smoking a lot of cigarettes or something like that. And he's enjoying life. So shout out to Gonzalo. But for me, I will not. He was just the clinical striker. I won't rate him that highly compared to Luis Suarez and these sort of guys of this generation. Robert Lewandowski, Karim Benzema.
He had his. I think he had his time, but you know what I mean. Players. I think it's up to like it goes down to the decisions that players make. Like when you're
Oh, yeah.
doing well, like let's say for example, right? I'm not gonna go too long, right? Let's say for example, like Christoph Piontek, right? You having a purple patch at what was that Genoa, right?
Yeah, Genoa. Yeah.
And then bam, bam, you're moving around the place. You go to AC Milan, it doesn't work out. You go to Hertha Berlin, and then it's like you're forgetting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what if he had stayed at Genoa? It's very difficult because of course teams are gonna come in for you. You give you more wages and stuff.
When bigger teams are coming for
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
you can't turn down that
You
opportunity.
can't because then your wages go from maybe 10,000 a week to 60 and so on and so forth. You know,
And then
so
also you get more recognition, more people will view you around
Yeah,
the world.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it is pretty crazy. All right. So Leverkusen Porto. Obviously, Xabi Alonso first match in the Champions League as a manager. Obviously coming off I think it was 3-0 victory over Schalke. I'll just double check here. I believe it was 4-0. My God, Xabi Alonso ball is cooking. And then for FC Porto, I mean, they beat Portimonense 2-0. Portimonense 2-0 over the weekend. I think this is a game where Leverkusen have to win, just based on the fact that they're going to go away to Atleti. It's a very difficult ground to go to. They're at home. They beat Atleti at home. This is a tough one to call. Porto, usually not the greatest team away from home, I would say. You know, they're better at home, even though they got destroyed by Club Brugge 4-0. But this is a tough one to call.
Let me give you some credit before you go in. Let me give you some credit for calling, you know, the whole thing on Sione, right? Gerardo Sione.
Yeah,
you called it from match day one. You called it, and you also called Julian Lopetegui as well. So big credit goes out to Michael Talks Football, man. You know what I mean? And you guys are not here just because. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mike knows his stuff, so he called it.
He was going to get sacked. I mean, considering where they were last season by Leverkusen, I could not recognize this team. I mean, they were just giving up. I mean, it was just terrible defending and goalkeeping from my guy, Lucas Radecki.
Mike, the group, 3 points each.
Atleti, Porto, and Bayer Leverkusen.
Exactly, 3 points. So it's come to a point in the group where one of these three teams got to start winning, right? And Club Brugge sit in a very good position where they could even afford a loss or even 2 losses, right? Because they're in a really good position. But I don't think that's going to happen because they've been playing well, of course. So it's been like, okay, you don't know what's going to happen in this group. You really don't know.
Nope.
Because with Porto, they win 1, they lose 2. Leverkusen the same, Atleti the same. I think Leverkusen bounce back here. Well, I didn't want to use bounce yet. I want to say the new manager bounce. That's how I want to use the word bounce.
Bounce.
Yeah. Xavi Alonso, you know, with the new manager bounce and with Leverkusen picking up a 2-0 win in this game.
2-0 win.
Bounce back.
So Xabi switched, I believe, it was a 5 in the back formation, and I think this is what this team needs because they were just conceding for fun. And It was a better performance. Obviously, Porto are going to be a very tough team, as we always know. I mean, Conceição, I rate this manager highly. I don't know how much longer he will be at Porto. I mean, Osmond is not going to play. Belarabi, Frimpong is not going to play. So these are some absences for Bayer Leverkusen.
Maybe Xabi Alonso, a future Liverpool manager too. Who knows?
Oh well, let's see how he does. I mean, obviously he was at Real Sociedad, the B team for them, but I'm gonna go 2-1 by Leverkusen. Just a narrow victory for them, and they'll just edge it just slightly, just slightly. What is the next game then?
Do you think Diaby remains a Leverkusen player next summer?
He hasn't been as good as last season so far, and I just think it was down to Sione, the manager. But let's see now with Xabi Alonso if Moussa Diaby can start cooking, because the guy is a very talented footballer and he was exceptional last season, but he just needs to step up his performances. I could honestly see him going to Newcastle next summer.
I like that defender they have though. What's his name? The big guy.
Hinchapie?
The African. What's his name?
From Burkina Faso. I know who you're talking about. Oh, man. I can't remember his name. Yeah, he's from Burkina Faso, though.
Yeah, he's quality, man. I can't remember his name, though. But
somebody will let us know in the chat. So
he's quality.
I know he's from Burkina Faso because he was obviously at the AFCON.
The thing with Porto, they're so mercurial, man. You never know what you're going to get from them, though. But, look out for Pepe, man. That young Brazilian winger, look out for him, man. Look out for him. Top Soba. I'm talking about Top Soba.
It's either Top Soba.
Edmund. I'm talking about Edmund Top Soba. That's who I'm talking about. He's quality.
Yeah,
so
quality.
What was my prediction there? I'm going for 2-0.
2-0. Yep. All right. I mean, let's go to Group A then. I mean, let me start with this one. I'm wearing an Ajax jersey just because I love this jersey, by the way. Napoli, talk about ripping apart. I mean, I have never seen Ajax get destroyed.
Yeah, it's a record. It's a record. It never happened.
Obliterated. 6-1. I couldn't believe when I was watching the Liverpool game. I just get the notifications on my phone. Napoli goal. Oh, Napoli goal. More Napoli goal. They have scored 20 goals in their last 4 games, I believe. I think it's 20 goals.
Napoli.
They're on fire.
Yeah.
This is all without Victor Osimhen. What is going on?
That's what I'm telling. That's why when you mention injury, that's why I say you can't factor that in right now, because that's why you have team. That's why you have depth, right? You gotta have options. That's why they brought in Giovanni Simeone, and he scored again over the weekend against Cremonense. So you have Raspadori clicking. You have Simeone bringing his form over from his last club, or Hellas Verona.
Yeah.
So you have quality in the midfield with
Anguissa, Lobotka, Zielinski. This midfield is so good. They have been exceptional.
Why do you think Cameroon's at the World Cup? It's guys like Sambo Anguissa. You know what I'm saying? Listen,
I mean that too, and also it was a little bit of some stuff going on between the Algeria game.
No, but what I'm saying, I think Cameroon qualified, on merit, because they look good. They look good.
They're a quality team.
Algeria has been garbage. We know that, right? But Napoli, man. Oh, man. The question, again, are they going to continue playing well, still unbeaten in the league, and win the Serie A this season? Because
actually, you know what? I think Napoli can make it to the semifinals of the Champions League. I think they can be a Villarreal. I think they can be an Ajax, where they're a very dangerous team, and they can play defensively good. They can control games. They can counterattack quickly. They got all the recipe to make a deep run in the Champions League. It's going to be interesting, this Napoli team. Just quickly on Ajax. Alfred Schroeder, I don't know what this guy is doing at the moment. He might just be another Frank de Boer, because he played the exact same team that he played against Napoli over the weekend, and they almost bottled a 3-0 lead. I can't remember the team's name.
Volendam.
They almost bottled a 3-0 lead to that team.
Yeah.
They won 4-2 at the end of the day. There's obviously not going to be Tadic. I wonder if he's going to start Brian Brobbey and then put Kudus out wide. I mean, that could be an option. Ajax got to just get some control in that midfield.
The thing with Ajax, man, Mike, you just can't keep selling and think you're going to come and compete. Yeah, you're going to compete against the teams that are similar to you. like Rangers. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When it comes to quality, you give some of these Ajax players a couple seasons, then they'll start to get better. But this is their first year, really. Some of them playing in the Champions League, some of them first year in the team. The team is still gelling. Too many changes for them to just hit the ground running again. You see what I'm saying?
That is true, but also I think Alfred Struder with his decisions this season, I don't really understand.
Yeah, but then again, though,
it's
Mike,
weird.
You're playing in the Eredivisie where they're gonna defeat these little teams, right? So
I don't know. They have not been looking good in the last couple.
No,
weeks.
but I mean, he is gonna rotate, and there is time.
He hasn't. No, the thing is, Dom, he hasn't been rotating that much. That's the problem. They signed Ocampos. Remember him from Sevilla? I mean, he's barely played. He probably gets like 20 minutes, and that's it. So
he's assimilating, basically.
I think honestly, because I don't know why Tadic keeps playing out wide, but obviously he's not going to play in this game.
He's settling in. The players are settling in. The players, look, you can't underestimate Ajax, but I just think right about now, the only hope left in this group is to pick up 3 against Rangers, and
then 3 at home against Liverpool.
That game is against Ibrox, so that's going to be difficult, So right now for Ajax, I think their goose is cooked, and their backs are broken, and Napoli
on fire.
Very impressive. I think they're going to pick up a 3-1 win in this one.
Oh, you went 3-1.
Yeah.
I went 4-1 again.
I'm going to be kind. 3-1. Big up to the boy Kavica Kvaratskhelia. And I have to say this, before anyone started talking about him, I think I was one of the first people to actually said, remember the name. Remember the name, because during, I think it was some qualifiers or the Nations League.
Against Spain. He ripped apart, I think it was...
He was cooking, man.
Was it Pedro Porro? I think he ripped apart.
He was cooking.
Yep.
And I was like, identified him as a magnificent player. I didn't watch any highlights before then. And when I watch his highlights, man, and even watch him in the Champions League this season, he is destined for big things.
He is.
I just hope he goes to the right club.
I hope he stays in Napoli and becomes a legend there. I'm not saying stay there for 5 years, but I hope he stays there for 3 seasons.
Bro,
look at the love he's getting in Napoli. Quickly, I just want to read this comment from Sensu. He's an Ajax fan. He says, "I don't have high hopes for Ajax in the Champions League, but I hope Ajax can pull itself together. They have been very bad for weeks." Like I told you, Dom. I watched a couple Eredivisie games.
But of course,
all.
You made a lot of money. You think you're gonna take some time to get back to your best.
No, but also I think it's just Alfred Schroeder's decision making as well.
I don't
with
think
his
so,
tactics
bro.
And his lineup choices are weird. They're weird.
When you sell, go down the list. Gravenberg,
Anthony
Martinez, Anthony Lisandro. When the left back leaves, Tagliafico left.
Yep.
Halle got sold. So what are you gonna do? And if you go back to the previous seasons, De Jong, De Ligt, Van de Beek, Schurz, who else? Just go through.
Yeah, it's a lot of players.
It's difficult, man.
It is very difficult.
It's gonna be hard for any manager to really adapt and transition any team like that. So, I think that's an aftermath. We've seen the aftermath of them making that bank, basically.
Yep. Yeah. Let's see what happens to Ajax. I think, unfortunately for them, they might be a Europa League team. And then obviously, Rangers versus Liverpool. I'm just gonna be quick on this one.
Hey.
What?
Hey.
Last week Liverpool were very dominant, and they should have won the game 5-0 against Rangers. This week though, it's gonna be a completely different story.
I don't want to talk about that. Listen, I don't want to talk about the game last week.
No, but
I want to talk about the fact that you can't win games in the league. What's going on here? What is going on here?
Dom, to be honest, like Diaz got injured,
and I heard that he's gonna be like someone.
He's out after the World Cup.
Yeah. So and he's the brightest player in Liverpool. Whenever Liverpool needs something to happen, it's Diaz. It is Diaz. What's gonna happen, man? It ain't looking good, man.
To be honest, I would say Jota goes on the left. I think Klopp is going to keep playing this 4-2-4 formation, leave ourselves so exposed at the back, leave our defenders
okay. This is what I'm going to do, right? This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
This weekend, I'll be in England. I'll be at the game. Fingers crossed. Right?
Okay.
Everything goes well. I'll be at the game. I'll let you know from what I see, the body language of the players, the sharpness. I'll let you know what's going on, right? I'll see if I could shout out and let James Milner know to retire already.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't say re-sign another contract.
Call it.
I was expecting you to say that.
Quits, man. It's time to call it quits, right?
But look, can I just get my quick thoughts, Dom? So
wait. Y'all are looking sus. You don't. I realize you don't want the smoke. You don't want the smoke at all.
Dom, if you've seen my channel, do you know how many times I've talked about how garbage Liverpool have been this season? So I don't need to keep going on and on about it. This team is in transition. This team is garbage. Defensively,
how are you in transition?
Because clearly Klopp and Linders don't know what to do with this team at the moment.
No, but how are you in transition? From one player, you're transitioning from Mane?
No, just I think they didn't want to transition, but now because of injuries and just defensively, they cannot figure out defensively how to defend in transition. They just can't. Whether it's Van Dijk, whether it's Matip over the weekend, I've never seen Matip have a worse game than that.
And
he was
what's up
garbage.
with Fabinho not starting now? What's going on? Best defensive midfielder in the world. What's going on here?
I don't know, Dom. I don't know.
Van Dijk. What's going on with Van Dijk?
Dom, let me speak. Keep going. Let me just speak.
I'm just saying. I'm bringing the heat. It's all entertainment. I'm bringing the heat. Sorry to hit you.
I'm trying to rip into this team as well.
I'm asking you questions. Let me ask you some questions. Klopp, did you think Klopp finally realized what's going on with Alexander-Arnold when he took him off, or do you think he had a little injury or
no,
what?
He had an injury. He would have played the 90 minutes then. If he wasn't injured, he would have played 90 minutes. Dom, he didn't get subbed off against Napoli. He will not get. He will play 90 minutes regardless.
Do you think that's a mistake that Klopp's been making?
Of course. I mean, I made a video just talking about how Trent should be benched, and then in the comments, people came after me after the Rangers game. Oh my God! Did you see Trent's performance? You see Trent's performance? Look at that free kick. I said, okay, cool. Watch what happens against Martinelli.
Yeah. Pocketed.
No, not pocketed. He got ripped apart, is what you mean. So, I think Joe Gomez will start this game. I'm hoping so. This is going to be a very tough game. I think Rangers, especially with the crowd, I think they got some confidence over the weekend. I believe they won 4-0. I want to say it was St. Mirren, I want to believe. So, I think Giovanni Van Bronckhorst cannot be as defensive, and I don't think they will be. I think they'll play 4 in the back formation. I got to back my team. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I'm going to go, you know what?
2-1. 2-1, grind. Liverpool will win the game, in my opinion.
I think it'll be 2-1 as well.
Because I think Liverpool of more quality than Rangers, of course. But I don't know what's going on in the league, bro. I'm concerned. Liverpool have been conceding the first goals in about 90% of their last few games, and it's a worrying trend. You see what I'm saying? I thought you guys are gonna compete. There ain't no competition. What's going on? You're gonna leave the hands of the title race you're gonna leave the title race in Arsenal hands.
Well, we gotta let someone else taste that, title charge as well. We gotta let somebody else do it. But
damn,
I mean, this team is.
You guys are definitely on fraud watch.
We're on doo-doo watch at the moment. I cannot recognize this team at the moment. So, but at least Darwin Núñez scored, so hopefully that gives him some confidence. Heading into the next couple of weeks.
Two comparing to 15.
Okay, well. Well, I mean, he had a little bit of a short start in the Premier League. Okay,
bro, this has been a poor start to his Liverpool career. He better bounce back.
Did Grealish have a poor season last year?
Listen, no, he didn't.
Oh, okay. Why did he not have a poor season then?
No, he didn't.
Because he won the league? Oh, no. Pressure. Okay. Pressure. So does Darwin Núñez have pressure?
Almost every City player has a first season like that, and then
now you want to so you give excuses for your players.
Listen,
okay, all right, I see how it is. Okay,
they become Gordon Ramsay. they start cooking.
Well, Grealish has been playing better recently. Last year he was doo-doo. I'm sorry.
Have
He
you
was
seen
doo-doo.
have
He
you
was
seen
doo-doo last
João
year.
Cancelo lately? Have you seen him?
Did I say João Cancelo?
No, but I'm just saying. You remember the first season?
Okay,
Garbage.
I was
like, what that?
Why can't it be the same thing then for Darwin Núñez?
You see Grealish? You see him this season?
You didn't answer my question. I said, can it be the same thing for Darwin Núñez then?
Could it be the same thing for Darwin Núñez? Of course it could. Of course it could be. But, you know what I mean? He needs that service, though.
Oh, of course he can't create his chance.
He needs that service. Liverpool...
Same as Erling Haaland. They both need service.
Liverpool needs a midfielder that's going to give the forwards the ball. And I've been talking about this for the longest while. And I think that Liverpool should go out there and pick up James Maddison. James Maddison, believe it or not, this player could be the key to Liverpool's success in the future. He scores a bunch of goals. He picks up assists. He doesn't work hard in defense, but he could learn that side of the game. And if you look around the league, you look around any successful team as of late, the midfielders have been contributing heavily to the goal scoring.
Well,
2-1 to Liverpool. 2-1 and still. Even with the criticism, and even though Liverpool's been playing like doo-doo lately, they're still gonna get the better of Rangers at Ibrox. But on the flip side, though, let's give some respect to Rangers, the Scottish teams. They're very good at home. That's one thing. The crowds do come out, and if they are to get anything.
But they can't be as defensive as last week. They were so defensive. They didn't even get past the halfway line in the first half. Only in the last 10 minutes they started playing, and then they actually created chances. I think Shimikas had to clear one off the line. So
you better don't lose, you know. You better don't lose.
Dom,
don't lose, bro.
Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we lost, and I wouldn't be surprised if we go to the Europa League at this rate, because
you guys are gonna become Banter Club Liverpool again.
At this rate, we are a Conference League team. So
I think Liverpool are still actually hurt and shook and shell shocked from not winning the league and the Champions League title the last within a week. Last season, still feeling the effects.
Who knows, Dom? We'll find out about that story in 10 years when somebody talks about it. So we'll see what it is about that. But let's continue. We got 4 games left. We're on good time. We're doing
well. We're doing well. You know what I'm saying?
An hour left. So Sporting versus Marseille. All I want to say about Sporting is Adan, the goalkeeper last week, had probably one of the worst games I have ever seen from a goalkeeper. Yeah. Not as bad as Karius, because Karius is number one.
Yeah, ever. that one is I don't forget notable mentions Zach Steffen.
Well, Zach Steffen too. But,
listen, I was just thinking about Matt Turner the other day, and Zach Steffen popped up in my head, and I was like, oh God, thank God he's gone.
But Karius, I mean, that will be the worst one. But Adan was just terrible. So, I mean, Sporting, they did well, but I mean, they just were so bad defensively, and it wasn't like Marseille played amazing or anything like that. They just took advantage of Sporting's own mistakes and they just punished them. So, Sporting got to limit the mistakes. They're gonna be at home. Marseille got to win this game again, because still Marseille are 3 points behind Sporting, and Sporting got to win this game because they still got to play Marseille at home. They got to play Frankfurt at home. They're going away to Spurs. So if I'm looking at Sporting's perspective, you got to win this game. And the same thing for Marseille. Even though they're going to host Tottenham, we know Tottenham are going to be a difficult team to break down. Alexis Sanchez has been in good form. But I see this game being a draw. There's a couple of injuries for Sporting. And also, they're obviously number one goalkeeper. Adam will be missing out. So I'm going to go 1-1. And obviously, Marseille did lose over the weekend. I want to say. I think they did. Yes, they lost to Ayazio, I believe is how you pronounce it. So I'm going 1-1, Dom.
Actually, reminded me about Adan. He got sent off.
Oh, he was terrible.
Sporting are not winning this game, because remember when that backup goalkeeper came on? If he's going to play anything like he did when he came on, they could kiss winning goodbye. Even though they're at home, that's a big determining factor for who goes on to win this game. And with the really great start that Sporting had, I think they're gonna start, regressing in the group. I could see Marseille picking up a victory here. 2-1. 2-1 to Marseille on the road. They will go above Sporting on head-to-head. And Sporting, they won't drop to last in the group because they have 6 points. So they would actually need Tottenham and Frankfurt to draw another game to stay in the top 2, which would be, of course, spots to go in around the 16 to pull things back for the last 2 games. I'm going for Marseille. They're building up a head of steam, especially from the last game. They had some help and they took advantage of the advantage, the man advantage, and they went on to win the game. First win in the group under Igor Tudor. They're finding their feet. Players are, starting to play well. So I'm going to go with Marseille here, 2-1. And I have to be honest, I made a late amendment to my prediction there.
You know what? So, I'm actually switching my pick. I'm going 3-1 Sporting.
Oh, you actually, bro! You actually increased the freaking scoreline.
I increased the scoreline by 2. I had an epiphany, and I was like, you know what?
What was that epiphany, though? What was that epiphany?
You reminded me of Marseille and away form, and they're not the greatest away team in Europe. Uh-huh. They really aren't, and I just seen Sporting in the last couple of years to be a very good home team. So you know what? I was like, 3-1. Trincao with a couple of goals. Marcus Edwards getting a goal. I feel like Sporting, they will bounce back from last week because if that wasn't a Sporting performance, that wasn't a Ruben Amorim team. The red card, poor defending, they will bounce back in this game. 3-1 Sporting. Actually, you know what? I might make this one my booster. I had an epiphany, Dom.
How do you do the booster, though? Guys, don't forget to vote. Not vote. Make your predictions in the predictor. Yeah. And don't forget to smash the thumbs up button as well. You know what? For my booster, I'm actually going to use the Man City game because, yeah.
What was your 4-0?
4-0. I'm going to use that for my booster, though. So, wait, how many boosters do you actually get?
I believe it's only 1.
Could you boost everything? Yeah, it's only one. It's only one.
I'm going to have to switch it back to the other game.
So I'm going to actually boost that Man City game to get some points. I didn't even realize I could do that. So, guys, you could boost your prediction so you get double points, I think. And don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. Big up to everybody in the stream. Thanks for the continued support to both the channels as well.
Exactly.
So,
all right. So then Spurs versus Frankfurt. I mean, Spurs, they still don't impress me.
Yeah, they barely scraped the win against Brighton on the weekend.
And they drew. I mean, they had chances against Frankfurt last week, but that front three, they're just off form at the moment. They're off form. Whether it's Son, I think he's been really below par this season. I really do.
With the exception of the hat-trick, of course.
Yeah, obviously, except for that 15 minutes, he's been very below par.
Yeah.
And then obviously he did well with South Korea in the international break. But
the thing is, sometimes as a manager, if you realize a player, okay, he came off the bench, he scored a 15-minute hat-trick. The next game, of course, you're gonna start him. But of course, I think Kulusevski had got injured. But maybe you should have tried bringing him off the bench again. Use him as a super sub and then, slowly bring him back. But he put him back into the team and he's back to where he was before.
And obviously, because Lucas Moura, he's injured as well, so they can't even play him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Frankfurt, Dom, they lost over the weekend to Bochum. And Bochum, who are going to be the Greuther Fürth of this year, they lost 3-0.
Maybe they're preparing for this game against.
And I did check their lineup, and they made a lot of change. Well, not a lot of changes, but I would say 5 guys that would usually start did not start in the game. So
exactly,
they have an eye on this game. This is going to be very fascinating because Spurs got to be clinical. If they're not, I feel like a Moani goal can make the difference in this matchup.
Mike,
I was close to actually saying Frankfurt to win this game,
Just to spice things up, man. We're talking about a Bundesliga team. Let's give a round of applause to Union Berlin and Freiburg, bro. Come on. Round of applause. Because these teams are on top of the Bundesliga, and it would be amazing if any one of them or both of them qualifies for the Champions League next season. I just wanted to mention that because I like seeing changes like that. You know what I mean? I like seeing the shift. You feel me?
So let me just say this, Dom. Bayern are just trying to keep it entertaining. They're trying to get the viewership into the Bundesliga. So that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Because otherwise, it's done by October or December.
Look, they're 4 points behind Union Berlin, and you know what? I think those two teams are like their bogey teams as well. Freiburg has been their bogey team for a long, long time, and I think, but you never know, bro. You never know.
You never know.
I'm keeping hope.
What do you think about this? Because I have not been impressed by Spurs at all
game,
this season. And Frankfurt are going to be a very dangerous team on the counterattack like they were last season in the Europa League. And I feel like they can do something here. And you know what? They've been really good away from home in Europe in the last couple of years as well. So it's a tough game to call.
Big up to Frankfurt, Europa League champs, first time in the Champions League. They've entertained for quite some seasons as well. Guys like Daichi Kamada has done well. You know, look, you have to look out for the youngster Knauf as well. He's a really good player. Is he still a Dortmund player though?
Yeah, he is. They
so
they sent him on. He's on an 18-month loan.
He's good, bro. He's really, really good. So look, Spurs are a kind of team, a kind of reactive team. Yep. They'll play well and then they'll fall away a little, lose, draw, and then bounce back. You see?
Yep.
They're going to grind games out. You see what they did against Brighton? I think they do that again in this game against Frankfurt. They do have a lot of quality in their team. They could afford to rotate, something that I think they will do in this match because they, of course, have to keep one eye on the league as well. They've been doing well in the league. They've been doing okay, you know, in the Champions League. I think they could do a lot. They could have done a lot better, even though they're on 4 points. They could have done a lot better because this group is well poised. It's one of the group of lives, you know. So
yep.
I think they're going to grind out a win. Maybe another Harry Kane goal. And, you know, Tottenham, they love to defend. They're going to defend, try to break on a counter. But once they go ahead, I think, it depends on who scores the first goal in this game. And I think it's going to be Spurs 1-0.
If Spurs get the first goal, it's over. That's all I'm going to say. It's over. Because they'll just park that Italian mafia bus that Conte loves to drive. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to go 1-0 as well. I'm going to go 1-0. I would love to see Frankfurt win the game. I have nothing against Spurs, but I just like Eintracht Frankfurt, but I'm going to go 1-0 Spurs. It's not going to be a pretty game to watch, people. Not going to be a pretty game to watch. So, the last two games, people. I mean, let me just quickly do this. All right, cool.
I'm actually going to go for 5-0 this time around. 5-0 this time around. 5. I actually went for 5 the last time and they scored 4.
Yeah, I think I predicted 4 last week and it was correct.
Leroy Sané was on fire. And
he's been very good this season.
Sadio Mane showed us what Liverpool have been missing because when the going gets tough. When the going gets tough.
What did he do over the weekend?
No, but I didn't watch the game.
Okay, exactly.
When the going gets tough, right? When the going gets tough, Mane used to come up and score a goal for Liverpool out of nowhere. You see what I'm saying? And the goal he scored last week, I was like, God damn. Like how he just bulldozed his way through the defense. I like that about Sadio Mane. You see what I'm saying? And I think that is what Liverpool are missing. And Liverpool should have never, ever allowed Sadio Mane to leave the club. And then on top of that, to throw salt in the wound, to be so insultive, give Salah some massive wages. That's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face of Sadio Mane. Seriously. If I'm Sadio Mane, I said respect to Liverpool. They did a lot for me. But you see that situation? I don't like that. And that is very, I think that is very, very disrespectful what they did to Mane. Seriously. It's like he had demands. They didn't want to meet the demands.
I agree, Dom. But also, they were both mutual about it. They seemed like they both agreed. I would have loved to keep Sadio Mane, but life ain't fair. But all I'm gonna say is I love Sadio. I absolutely love the guy. I have never anything against him. I think he's a great human being as well for everything that he does for his community. He has not been that great this year. If you watch,
it doesn't matter though. He could afford to do that because guess what?
No, Dom, he has not been good this season. Ask Bayern Munich fans. If you watch the game, he has not been good. He hasn't been clinical enough.
Hear
Just
me
saying.
out, though. Hear me out.
Of
Hear
course, he
me
would be a
out.
benefit to Liverpool this
Hear
season.
me
Of
out, bro.
course.
If I move to Finland right now, right where you're at, I'm gonna struggle. I don't know the
What?
language. I'm a minority there, right? I'm gonna struggle, bro. I'm gonna struggle. It's gonna take time for me to fit in. It's gonna take time for me to learn. It's cold.
Well, you
You
live in New York,
understand?
so
No,
it's
but I'm
almost
just,
similar.
bro. It's colder. It's gotta be colder up there, bro.
Oh yeah, it's cold here.
Listen. So Mane, I think, give him time. It's a new league. It's a
Okay, what
different
about
pace.
so do we give time to Darwin Nunes?
Hell no.
Oh, okay. I see how. Okay, I
Because
see it.
guess what? The
I see,
Liverpool
'cause-
fans hyped him up, bro.
Okay,
He
I
ain't
see how.
getting. Listen, he ain't getting no time. None.
Okay.
He's on whatever time Erling Haaland is on is what Darwin Nunes is on.
Let me just say this, people. Dom has his agendas, and we will move on from that because we have one last game to talk about.
Man.
We have one last game to talk about.
Okay,
it is
Finnish people speak English as well. I know, but what if I want to speak some Finnish? I won't be able to speak no Finnish. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna take you 10 years to speak some
Exactly.
Finnish. That's all I'm gonna say, Dom. All right, so this is the big one, the last game that we will predict. Didn't even mean to do it like this, but it just happened to happen. Barcelona against Inter Milan. Obviously, what happened last week? A little bit controversy, you could say. I would say that Barcelona deserved the penalty, no doubt about it. I don't know how far did not get that.
But didn't they go back and give an offside or something like that?
No, it was Inter were gonna get a penalty, I believe, but it was offside. For that reason, because I think it was Pedri who handballed it.
Yeah,
the Dumfries one, I have no clue how they didn't give a handball.
I think it's proximity, right? I didn't see that one.
But yeah, let me
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Barca, they have not been good in the last couple weeks. They really haven't. I don't know what's happened to Xavi Ball. I know they have a couple of injuries in the defense, but I mean the front three have not been that good. Lewandowski again last week got pocketed by Skriniar, De Vrij, and Bastoni. Dembele, clueless. Rafinha, no impact whatsoever. He has to play on the right wing. Inter Milan.
But he did score. Lewandowski did score on the weekend, so maybe he could use that.
No, he didn't. He didn't score on the weekend. Pedri scored. They only won
I'm talking about
the weekend before.
It was the game before. Yeah.
It was against Mallorca.
Before. Yeah,
it was a beautiful game. So we know what Inter are gonna do, Dom. They're gonna sit back and defend for their lives once again. And they just got to be clinical on the counterattack with DiMarco's pass when he started the counterattack. Oh my God, the switch of play to Darmian was absolutely beautiful. Lautaro just got to be much better, man. I don't know what's happened to Lautaro either. I love the player, but he's got to step up his performances. And let's see if Brozovic is going to start in this game. If Inter win, Barca, it's guaranteed then.
I think, right? You said they're not playing well, right?
Yeah, their Barca are not playing well.
Maybe our expectations are a bit too high, right? Maybe it is, right?
They spend all that money, Dom. I'm sorry, they got to be playing better.
But Mike, right? The last game we're talking about, right? If we actually look at their last couple games, right? I'm gonna share this screen right here. Let me see. Bam, share my screen. Let me see if all right, yeah. Let's look at their last couple games, right? If you analyze their games, they've been winning the games, but when they meet a more quality opposition, then they do not win the game. You see, look, Inter lost. Bayern Munich lost. Everything else is a win. Look at where they at. La Liga. They on top of La Liga. So when I say expectations are high, they're high. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing in the league. They're gonna have games where they struggle, but when it comes to the Champions League, when you're coming up against more quality teams, they are finding it very, very difficult. Of course, they're gonna beat Plzen, right? You go back to the Champions League, you get down to their group, right? Of course, they're going to be Plzen. That's the only points they picked up in the group, right? They're going to beat Plzen.
That's the only time they've scored a goal as well.
So now they have to use this home game to their advantage. they have to get something. I think they walk away with a point from this game. I think they walk away with a point, which would keep them.
Just 1 point?
1 point, right? Hear this.
They're screwed then, Dom.
Hear this. This is how they could actually go through, right?
All right.
1 point. They would actually need to get something from the second Bayern Munich game.
They need to beat them.
No, wait, because look, if 1 point, but I'm not. Inter should beat Plzen.
Oh,
they
better.
They have to beat Inter, or they screwed. Let's just say they gotta beat Inter, or they screwed.
That's what I'm saying. This is.
And if I'm predicting a draw, what are you predicting for this?
This is tough, man, because I'm not that impressed by Barca.
Do you have a predetermined prediction, though?
I'm just leaning towards that Barca. They just have to win this game. They
have to, because if they don't win, it's Europa League.
Oh,
because
I'm not gonna lie.
Inter are gonna get let's say the game draw. Inter are gonna get 10 points, and then Barcelona won't get 10 points because
they have to beat Bayern. Then
they have to beat. Look, even if let's say they beat Inter, if they beat Inter and beat Plzen, they get 9 points, right? Inter are gonna beat Plzen, go up to 9 points. So then it's gonna come down to goal difference because head to head is like the same, right? 1 win apiece. So it's a must win, and Barcelona are not getting anything against Bayern Munich. Come on, let's not even get into that conversation. So I think they're pretty much screwed. I'm going for my prediction.
People, let us know your predictions in the chat as well. People, let us know your predictions.
2-2 draw.
Because this is the big one. So
I think they'll have the game 2-1 and then bottle it.
Oh, that would be brutal. So obviously, just to give some updates on injuries for both teams. So Brozovic might not play. Correa, Dalbert, Cordas, no Lukaku as well. And then Barcelona, no Araujo, Bellerin, Christensen, Depay, Frank Kessie, or Koundé.
I think that hurt them in the last game. The fact that they didn't have the defenders and they're going to be a bit desperate in this match. Play very open. The chances will be there, but Inter will pick them off as well.
And do you know who the two center backs are going to be? It's going to be Piqué and Eric Garcia.
Eric Garcia is a disaster waiting to happen. Him.
He's actually been quite decent this year. I'll give him some credit. He's actually been quite decent this year.
Eric Garcia is garbage, bro.
He can have garbage moments, but I'll give him some credit. He's been impressive this season.
Listen, you see, let me I don't even listen. I ain't even gonna go down there, bro.
But Dzeko he scored obviously 2 goals over the weekend. So Dzeko, I think, is going to start this game compared to Correa.
And Dzeko got 100 Serie A goals. So big up to the former Man City man, Edin Dzeko, baby.
Shout out to Edin Dzeko.
Sorry to get a little hype there, though, but you know what I'm saying.
I still remember Edin Dzeko from Wolfsburg. I still remember Edin Dzeko.
Dzeko used to bag him in for City, bro. I'm telling you.
I know. I saw him in Graffiti at Wolfsburg, man. That was one lethal combination.
Yeah,
but
that's Wolfsburg won the Bundesliga too, right?
Yep. So. 09 season. So Lewandowski, bro. I just ask you, please step up.
You gotta be clinical.
Not even just clinical, show up, bro. Like, he wasn't clinical against Bayern Munich. He got pocketed against Inter. If he does not perform this game, and then if he doesn't score over the weekend in the El Clasico, see, this is the thing, Dom. This is a make or break week for Barcelona in their season.
That's the thing.
They got the El Clasico, and they got this Champions League game. I don't think Inter are going to... I don't know where you get 2 goals from. I would be very shocked if Inter could get 2 goals. If they were having Lukaku and Lautaro, I understand, but I think it'll be very difficult because it's going to be the same exact story as last week at the San Siro. 75% ball possession for Barca, 25% for Inter. Defend like warriors. I'm going to go 2-1 Barca. I'm going to go 2-1, and then it just makes this group very, very, very interesting. So let's see what people
2-2 draw. If 2-2 draw, Barcelona is basically Europa League bound.
Yep.
So, Mike, how many people in the chat for you, though? I don't know.
We got 24 people in the chat, and we got 3 people in your chat.
Big up to everybody, man. Big up to everybody, watching the stream on Mike's channel. This is actually my second channel, so, this is not like...
Dominic Rich.
Yeah, so this is not like my main channel or anything. So, big up to everybody watching.
Lewandowski gonna redo it
Yeah.
against the Giants. Cadiz. Hey, that might be facts. That might be facts. So, actually, I gotta choose now where I'm gonna put my booster because I'm not gonna play it on the Sporting Marseille. Dom, you played it for the FC Copenhagen and Man City game,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
You
I
know
think
what?
that's where I'm gonna get most of my points, man.
Oh, you can even predict the Women's Champions League. Very
Yeah,
nice.
bro. Talking about women's football, bro. I was going through some footage the other day on Instagram, and I saw this girl that plays for Aston Villa.
Relax, Dom.
Ooh.
Relax, Dom.
Oh,
Dom,
damn.
you probably don't know, but she's in a relationship with Douglas Luiz. So
Damn.
that's all I'm gonna say. But big up to everybody. Dom, you got any final thoughts? Obviously, Dom thinks that Barca are going to go to the Europa League. I still got hope, but man, they don't.
My final thoughts is damn. God damn, bro.
Oh God, Dom. Only
That's,
TG
listen,
Studio.
that's my final thoughts.
Ah, damn it, Dom. Oh, Dom.
If,
Dom.
listen, I want to say, if you know, you know. That's it. If you know, you know.
And on that note, people, thank you all for tuning in. Remember, if you haven't hit the like button, do so right now. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll try and do a live reaction to the games tomorrow for Milan-Chelsea.
It was a fun one.
It was a fun one, people. As always, go subscribe to Dom's channel. The link is in the description down below. Remember to follow me on all my social media. Let's get it up to 4. Let's get up to 4,000 subscribers as well before the World Cup begins, which is now less than 40 days away. For me and Dom, have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world, as we always say. And adios.
Rich Squad. Peace.